What is an author brand and why is it important for you to start building one, even though you might not even be published yet? Hello, my name is Natalie, and this is episode 4 of A Year of Writing, podcast about productivity, writing, and marketing. My name is Natalie, and I am your host. So in today's episode, we're going to go through what an author brand is, why you should start building one, even though you might not even be published yet, different ways to build an author brand, and we're going to talk about strategy. So let's start with what an author brand is. An author brand is your identity, the picture of yourself that you present to the world. And maybe you might think that, but I'm just going to be myself, and that's fine. But the truth is that you're not going to share everything about yourself with the world. So when choosing what you share with the world, you're already presenting a picture of yourself. An author brand is the way you present yourself online as a writer. This includes the photos you share, the way you write, the cover art, the fonts you use, everything as a whole is your author brand. And there are some people that confuses author branding with like boring corporate brand manual. It's not really the same thing, because an author brand is in essence the personality that you choose to show to the world. It will help you sell more books and be able to create authentic marketing material. And your author brand will evolve over time. It's important that you have one as soon as you decide to become a writer. And this brings us on to the next topic, why you should start building an author brand today, even if you're not published. I started building my author brand sometime before getting published. I decided to remake my Instagram into a writer author page, an author Instagram, instead of just posting random stuff from my everyday life. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to connect with more writers out there. I wanted to get inspired and be a part of this amazing writer community that's out there. And this has also led to people finding me that now that I'm a published author wants to read my books. It's amazing. And if you start building your author brand as soon as you know that you want to write, you will be able to connect with people, and people will get to know you. They will like you for who you are, and if they like you, they're more inclined to buy books from you later. And this is also a way for you to build real relationships and real connections with your readers. And how can you build an author brand? Well, of course, there is social media, and as you know by now, this is one of my favorite channels to build an author brand in. Why? 1, because it's easy. 2, because it's free. And 3, because a lot of other writers are out there on social media. And I like taking photos. I love creating short form videos. That's why Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts are a great way for me to build an audience and connect with new people, both readers and other writers. I've been working on my account for quite some time, and I've learned a thing or two about what to do to get your channels to grow with more followers. And the first thing that you want to do if you want more followers on social media is to pick a niche. So preferably niche that's somehow connected to writing. Maybe it's your writer journey, or maybe you want to be a part of Bookstagram or Book Talk. Maybe you want to talk about the ups and downs of writing. I don't know, but pick a niche and stick to it. You can't go around and post random things and think that people that don't know you are interested in what your dog ate for dinner. Maybe they will be later when they get to know you, but if you want to grow to, say, 10,000 followers, you need to have a niche, and you need to stay focused within that niche, because for a stranger to follow you, you have to somehow inspire them or talk about something that they're interested in. To be frank, no one is interested in like random people's everyday life, but they may be interested in the niche, like something that interests you. Your interests might intersect. And that's why picking a niche is so important. And it will also help you with the next stage of building a social media platform and getting it to grow. And that is, once you've picked a niche, create like content buckets. I'm not sure if this is something I learned from growth marketing, but a content bucket it's ideas that fit within your niche. So let's say you have your journey to becoming a published author. That's your niche. Maybe one content bucket is books on writing. Maybe one content bucket is author memes, like funny things that only writers will understand. Maybe one of them is writing stages, and maybe one of them is authors or writers that inspire you. Once you have like chosen a few themes or content buckets, go onto that platform and look at what other people are doing in this niche. Like, what are other people talking about when it comes to author memes? Yeah, save this into a folder within the app and see if you can either get inspired by them or recreate the same thing. So look at what other people are doing, and especially what other successful people within that platform, within your niche are doing, and learn from them. I do this all the time. Whenever I see something that I like that's within any one of my content buckets, I'll save it into the app, and then maybe I'll, recreate it in my own way, in my own style. And this has helped me to go from, 500 or 700 followers to now almost 1,500 followers. It's not that much, but it is a lot. I mean, it's a lot more than when I started, and it makes me so grateful that other people are actually interested in what I have to say on social media. Tip number 3 to succeed on social media is to engage with other people within your niche or within surrounding niches. So let's say again that if you have your writer journey account, then comment on other writers' posts and comment on Bookstagram posts. Like, if there are book accounts that you like and that talk about great books that you like, comment and make sure to connect to those accounts, because then one day when you launch a book, maybe they'll be able to review your book. If they review your book, you'll be a part of their audience and show to the people that are following them. And once you're a published author, it's important that you do not only talk about your book. And why do I say this? Because I've seen this a lot on both Instagram and TikTok, that once a writer has become published, all they want to do is share photos of their books, and all they try to do is sell. And the thing is, okay, yeah, you launched a book. I get it. You're super happy. But I don't want all the people that I follow to only show their books and only try to promote themselves. I want to know them. I want to be inspired by them. And yeah, don't make this mistake, because people will unfollow you and you will seem honestly quite unprofessional. But you can actually, there are some ways to get around this. So, okay, you have published your book and you want to talk about, you might want to talk about your book without being too much of a seller, is to talk about stuff that are related to the book. Maybe you make videos or take photos of places that you visited during the research phase of the book, or places that are in the book, or present your characters, or do funny things related to the book without saying, hey, come and buy my book. Does that make sense? And the last advice I'm going to give you on social media is to publish regularly, preferably as often as you can. I would say if you're serious about growing your Instagram or TikTok, you should publish something every day. And this may seem like a lot to do, but the thing that you can do is that you can actually schedule reels. You can schedule ordinary posts, carousels, whatever. You can even, with help from other programs, schedule stories. Another thing you can do to create an author brand is to get your own website. Why should you have a website? Because you want to control some of the narrative of what shows up when people Google you. You want to take that traffic. And also, once you're published, it's good to have a press kit ready, some photos and interview questions, some way for journalists to get in contact with you and stuff like that. But just having a website in itself that never gets updated is honestly quite boring. So I do recommend also having a blog or an article series that you post regularly. And it can be since you're a writer, blog about writing. Maybe you blog about your writing process. Maybe you blog about things you've learned. Maybe you blog about, I don't know. It is a great way for new people to find you, and it also makes you more of an authority and an expert within this, within your subject. So do this. How often should you publish? Well, that depends. But I would say that publishing, the more you're able to publish, the better. I try to publish once a week on my blog, and so far so good. But I know that it is sometimes a hustle to get the time to create like everything that you're gonna create. But I mean, I just told you I post on social media every day and I post on my blog once a week. I also have a podcast. How do I manage to do all this and create all of this content? Well, I actually batch create content. So usually on weekends, I'll film short form videos for TikTok and Instagram Reels. And sometimes during weekends, I'll batch create blog posts. Maybe I'll write 4 articles in a row. And I do the same thing with podcasts, actually. I batch create. First, I write a bunch of scripts and then I film a bunch of videos. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able, to film every weekend. I want to be able to make plans with my partner and with my friends and with my family. That is why batch creating is a great way for you to free up time and not to feel stressed when it comes to building your author brand, building your following. Another thing you can do is, of course, to start a podcast. I think the podcasting is a great way for you both to reach out to potential readers, but also a great way to connect with new writers, like other writers. And I started this podcast because I wanted to challenge myself to learn something new. And also it's a great way for me to continuously learn more about the art of writing. For every one of these episodes, I have to do a bunch of research. I have to write a manuscript for before filming it, and then I both do the audio version and I actually also film it. So this means that I get more comfortable talking English. It's not my native tongue, as you may have guessed, but it also makes me a lot more comfortable in front of the camera. And I think that one day might lead to me being a better public speaker, because once I sit down and edit both the video and the audio, I hear the way I talk and I learn to become a better public speaker, but also a better better storyteller. And last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about strategy. So strategy is for author branding is a lot about who's your target audience. And what do I mean by this? Well, you need to figure out what your target audience for your books are, for your platforms. So what's the target audience for your Instagram? What's your target audience for your website? What's the target audience for your podcast? Are they one and the same, or are they different audiences? And once you've figured out who your target audience is, you should start looking at your competition and other authors within your niche that has the same audiences as you. What do they do to succeed on social media? How do they present themselves on their website? What kind of strengths and weaknesses do they have, and what can you learn from them? Another thing you should think about is the current state of the market. Are there any influences or trends that will affect your readers or that will affect the authorship in general? An example could be now that AI is so, AI is everywhere. Everyone talks about it. How will that affect authors in the future? Well, of course, we don't know yet, but we do know that it will affect us somehow. Think about that one. And just a reminder here that once you look at the people within your niche that are really successful and that has the, that reaches out to your target audience, feel free to get inspired by them, but don't copy them. Don't try to be someone that you're not, because people will see through it. You have to be your authentic self, and because otherwise you won't find the right readers for your. Last but not least, you should create a brand strategy. This means a logotype, brand colors, choose what fonts you have, and all of this should be reflected on all your platforms. So let's say you have a website and social media. Well, use these brand colors of both. Why this is important is because once you're starting to grow, people will find you or meet you through different platforms. Someone may find you from, from ads Another one might find your blog first, or might find your podcast. Someone else will find you on social media. And independent on where they find you, the next time they bump into you, they should be able to recognize that you're you. And the more recognizable you are, if you have a brand manual, and hold everything together, people will be able to recognize you. And this will also help with the way that people associate with you, and it will help build trust between you and your readers. And with branding, you can also decide, do I want to be a writer and an editor? Do I want to be a bookstagrammer and a writer? Who do I want to be? How do I present myself? And to conclude this episode, yes, building an author brand is very important. Doesn't matter if you have published a book or not yet. You should still start building your author brand. Because in the end, it will help you to sell more books. And if you like this episode, please subscribe to it and share it on social media. My name is Natalie. Thank you so much for listening.